And we are live. Hey everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to another webinar at VanHackCON. Quick sound check. Can you guys hear us? Can you guys see us? Hello, hello. Welcome to another day of VanHackCON. We're very happy to have you here with us. Today we have a very special guest, Vitor, here. We are going to introduce him later on. But first, let me start with some warm-up questions. First one, where are you guys from? Where are you hearing us from now? Also, we have people from Colombia. Hello, hello. Dubai, Vancouver, Brazil, India. Awesome, awesome. One more question from you guys. Who here is looking for a job abroad? And which position you're looking for a job abroad? Argentina, wow. Welcome, welcome everyone. Awesome. And my last question before we start, so we give more time for people to join, is who is here want to jump to a leadership position abroad as well? Awesome. So we have people looking for lead dev positions, front end. Awesome. Product manager, DevOps, IT project manager. So the good thing is for you who answer yes, that you want to look for a leadership position, Vitor here will help you on that. So Vitor is a hacker who got hired, and he moved it from the position he was hired to a leadership position really quickly in a couple of months in Canada. So Vitor, thank you so much for taking this time to do the webinar with us. And can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, I'm Vitor, and I'm a VanHacker, and I'm also a software developer. I've been working in the industry like for over a decade, and it's a pleasure to be here and share a little bit about my experience and what I've been doing to be here and what needs to be done to be here. So we'll chat a little bit about it today, and thank you, and Deza.
Awesome. So guys, stick to the end. Vitor has amazing tips for you. And as always, we have a lot of great content to share. So Vitor, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah. So guys, today we're gonna go through a few slides that I built. And so let's go there, start presentation. Yeah, so if you're listening to me right now, it means that you want to become a global talent. And there are no shortcuts to become a global talent. If you want to come abroad and be different than the people that you studied in Argentina, in Brazil, in India, you got to do things that your friends haven't done yet. And you got to get used to this idea that you're going to be special. And and today we're going to talk a little bit about these topics. So the topic of this presentation is how to get a leadership position abroad. And I want to walk you through some of the items that I judge are important. So the first one is the journey of a software development talent, skills that require for selection process, how to interview, soft skills, hard skills, the STAR methodology, tips on how to become a better developer, immigration, and why VanHacker was important in my life. So the journey starts with a dream, just like Martin Luther King. And it starts with a dream that most people are not able to understand or support you. And I can tell you that even your mother will tell you that you're crazy. And it's okay. Like, it's just your dream. Everybody has dreams. And the only person that needs to believe on that is yourself. Creating a plan and working on a plan is super important to achieve these dreams. It's just anything in your life. Like, if you go back in the past, before like doing a graduation or a degree, or before doing anything that was remarkable in your life, you had to put effort. You needed to work hard. So you're gonna need to do the same here if you want to come broad. So skills required to ace in a selection process. I would say that, you know, education is the best investment that you can make. It's not, I mean, buying an apartment is not the best investment for your life as a technical person. If you want to achieve success, you need to buy more books. You need to buy more Udemy courses. You need to study in your spare time. You need to ask for help for people. And so secondly, I would say that English is one of the most important things that you could invest. And it's going to take you like 10 years, 20 years to be like really good in English. So invest in trips, like come abroad and like try to be immersed and talk as much as you can here. Do courses abroad, like go to the United States, study English for 1 or 2 months, spend money with that. Actually invest money on that. You're not spending. I've done like 5 international exchanges programs. Like I studied Spanish and also English, and I don't regret. That's why I'm able to speak English. So buy books, buy online conversation classes. Like there are lots of websites nowadays, like verbaling.com and other platforms that you can just go there and book a time slot with a native speaker. So I remember that like 5 years ago, I was like practicing English and Spanish like 3 to 5 hours a week, and I was investing on that. And you know, it makes the difference. Learn how the selection process works. Like if you're applying for a software developer position, there is like a formula. And you need to figure out what the formula is. Like this selection process, they are usually the same. And if you are able to understand that and train the gaps and train your strengths, you're going to succeed. And that's the secret of anything in life. Practice your hard skills, which are not super hard to practice because that's what you know, and practice your soft skills. Like most of the time as a software developer, you're going to work by yourself. Like you're going to be in a Scrum meeting in the morning and you're going to be assigned, like people are going to ask you, build this login page, and you're going to work alone for the rest of your day, or you're going to pair programming with your team member. So a software development life can be a little bit alone. So it can be tricky to practice like soft skills. So you need to go and force yourself to do that. And there are so many opportunities in the daily basis for that. How to prepare for interviews. So interviewing is like the Lean Startup methodology. So in the Lean Startup methodology talks about building, measuring, and learning, right? So it's going to be the same. You're going to build, and when you build, you're going to do a selection process, right? After the selection process, you're going to be approved or rejected. And that's your measure, that's your KPI. And after a selection process, try to ask the interviewers what you're missing. I mean, what you should study, things like that. And you know, if you can understand your gaps, buy books that teach you how to fill these gaps and study. build projects with the concepts and interview again. That's the process of learning, and that's what you should be doing. Like, if you do like 3 selection process and you don't know why you're failing, you have a super hard problem to figure out. So it's gonna be tough, but if you understand that interviewing is a learning process, you're gonna succeed. So how to prepare for an interview? So it can take, it really depends on the case. Like, there are talent that can get a job faster, and it means that they are more prepared, and other people that may take like few years or maybe like more time. So research about the company and preparation are super important. And in order to do that, you should, like, first of all, understand who you are, what kind of companies you would like to work with. And then based on that, you're going to go to the market. You're going to search for companies that have similar values than you do, and look at their mission, look at their vision. It can sound romantic, but you're going to be part of that. It's going to be your life, and you're going to be telling this story to the future positions that you're going to be applying after this position that you're going to work abroad. So, like, you should have your resume, your references, do your checklist, like do your research on salary expectations. So if you're applying for a job in Canada, you need to know what is the average salary for a software developer, what is the average salary for a software manager here. If you don't know that and you're in an interview, that is not a good sign. So, like, interviewing, we always think that we are prepared, and it's like anything in life. Like, it is theory and ideas are different than reality. Like, when you thought for the first time about becoming a software developer, you're thinking totally different than when you were in your first job or in your second job. So when you have an idea and you have no idea how to execute that, be aware that the reality is totally different, and you're gonna need to learn a lot of stuff over time, and that's why you have this learning curve, because you will be always a student. How to prepare for interviews? So you should have your presentation, just like I had mine. So this is my old presentation, and I created my guide, and my guide basically works like this. The first slides have the company descriptions and what their products do. And after that, I have interview questions that VanHack sent me. So I have, like, tell me about yourself. And then I have my answer. I'm Vitor Oliveira. I have bachelor's degree in industrial engineering, blah, 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 blah. I have experience with HTML, CSS, and etc. So why should you have these questions and the answers? You should practice. You should record yourself. You should talk to the mirror. You should talk to a webcam. It doesn't matter. You just need to practice. It's just like English. And if you do it by yourself alone, nobody will see it. And, the questions are here. And so these questions were questions that VanHack sent me, and I made an effort to answer all of them. And why did I do that? Because when I'm interviewing, that's what I do. Half of my screen, I put and the other half, I'm talking to the interviewer. So, and like these 10 questions that I just showed you, they always ask these questions. Like, tell me about yourself. Like, this, just asked me to do that. And I was saying that my name is Vitor Oliveira, and etc. So why do you want to work for us? So this requires preparation. So if you're applying for Amazon, it's going to be different than if you apply for Shopify or other companies. So you might need to do preparation here and answer this question before. And when they ask you, you have the answer. So the chances of succeed are going to be higher. I'm pretty sure about that. I started doing this, and oh my gosh, it made all the difference for me. So if you are with VanHack, you can just answer these questions and discuss with the community or discuss with the VanHack staff. They are going to help you on how to improve this. So a company is interested in your profile because they have a job description, and it seems that your skills match with the job description and the company values. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you're applying for a software development position and you have previous experiences in the sales area, you know, it may not be relevant to that position. So your resume should be aligned with the job description that you're applying. Like anything that you say in the interview should be aligned with the job description. Anything that you say in the interview should be aligned with the company goals. So preparation and research, something super important. And this is for any positions in the tech industry. So talking a little bit about the job description, we have a few points, like qualification, duties, desired competence, identify the top points in the job description, identify your gaps in the job description. Let's say that you don't know a lot about JavaScript, but they are asking about JavaScript. So identify that and see how you're gonna, demonstrate that to them. And anticipate questions that they could bring. Over time, you will get an idea on how to anticipate questions when you read the job description. And it takes a little time because you need to get some experience with that. Soft skills are super important. So talking a little bit about the software engineering management positions. If you want to become like a lead or, I don't know, a manager or a VP of people, you got to be really good with soft skills. You got to be a human. You need to care about people. Like you need to teach people, and it's basically attitude. You can be a junior developer, senior in attitude, or you can be a senior developer, junior in attitude. And it's your decision. It's up to you. You make this decision all the time. So all these soft skills that you're seeing here, self-management, critical thinking, reflection, communication, group teamwork, you can practice this in lots of different environments. You don't need to be in a Scrum team to do that. You can practice this with your mother in your daily situations. You can practice this in your university when you are taking subjects. You have so many opportunities to do this. So whenever you're making a decision, think about that. How can I make a better decision, and how can I be a better human? And after doing this in your personal life, try to transfer this to your professional life and start doing that. Start making impact on other people's lives. So soft skills are super important. And communication skills are important. If you want to lead a team, you need to start showing attitude from day one. And you don't need to be a lead developer. You don't need to be a manager to be a leader. You know what I mean? A leader is a leader, and that's it. It doesn't matter. Like a title is just a title. You know what I mean? A leader puts people forward, puts a team forward. And it's up to you to think positively, to be optimistic, and to make the right decisions. So focus on soft skills. Obviously, hard skills are super important, and that's why it should be like half of your brain. But the company is expecting you to have the hard skills, right? So they are definitely going to see whether or not you have these soft skills. At VanHack, we talk a lot about the STAR methodology. And the STAR methodology is basically like a situation, a task, an action, and the result. So STAR methodology should be done like by the end of each semester. because you live so many different experiences every day, and you should take notes on them. So if you don't take notes by the end of each semester, it's going to accumulate and you're going to forget the achievables that you have made. So like if you don't have time to do by the end of each semester, do by the end of each year. For example, I have my STAR methodology spreadsheet. If you check here, there is the topic communication. And for example, the situation was that PayWith, which is my current company, so most developers at PayWith use it to work in isolation. The task that I had, I helped to build an open and more collaborative environment for PayWith developers. The action that I had to do, propose more pre-program sessions, make the staff become full stack. The result, I can't see the result here, it's too blurry. But this is an example. Like, I've been at PayWith for 2 years, and I already have the STAR methodology for PayWith, because I know it's important, so I reserved time to do that. And whenever I'm applying for a new job, I already have this. So I practice by myself, and when I'm there and they ask the hard questions, I already know the answers. So it's your responsibility to do this homework. VanHack, your mother, nobody, your wife, your husband is not going to do this for you. So if you want to get a better job, do your job. So tips on how to become a better developer. And I like to talk about this because at PayWith, we are always like looking for new people. And there are a few things that we look that most people don't have. So if I could advise you, I would recommend you to do more open source contributions. Like if you have good open source contributions, you don't need to do lots of technical challenge. I can just go there and see what you did. You are doing for humanity, like it's public. Be a mentor for less experienced developers. Stop being selfish. Like teach people what you know. And when you teach, you'll learn much more. So you're gonna gain in the process. Be a volunteer for a cause that matters for you. In order to practice all the skills that I said, like soft skills, hard skills, you can be a volunteer. Like you don't need to get a job and get paid for that. You can like exchange values. Like you can give your skills, and this volunteering position can give you the opportunity to practice these skills in the real life. Another thing that I think it's cool is like build a project from scratch. I mean, do your product research, design, backend, front-end, mobile all together. It's much better than an MBA. It's much better than a credentials. What are you going to do with a piece of paper? You're going to do nothing. But if you tell a manager that you built a specific product, like I built this, here is the architecture of the solution. Here's the system design. This system talks to these other systems. I built this architecture, this API architecture. That's how the communications are handled. It's going to be much more impactful than telling a manager that you have an MBA. Be a human and a technologist. Like always put people first and then technology second. Technology is just like the means to deliver value to humans. So if you're not a human, you should rethink about your values. So my experience with immigration. So if we are talking right now, it's because you want to come abroad and you want to immigrate. You want to become an immigrant, and it's super painful. It can take months or years. In my experience, the work visa was easier to get, like for Canada, but the permanent residence process is super tough. Like I don't have the PR yet, and I'm still in the process. It's taking me like more than 1 year, if you want to know. So if you wanna come abroad, I would advise you to get reference letters today. Like go to your previous companies, talk to your previous managers, and tell them, hey, could you please write me a reference letter? VanHack can have templates, and they can help you with that. Ask your university for academic transcripts. I mean, your academic history. ask them, scan these documents. It's going to be important. In the future, you're going to need this. Because if you ever immigrate to a country, they are going to ask you for these documents to understand your track record as a person, what results you generated in your life. So if you want to start this international career, be aware that some documents can already be prepared for this new phase of your life. Oh, why VanHack was important for me? So before I joined VanHack, I was being rejected in the same finals, I would say. And so they basically reviewed my resume, my CV. The English classes helped me a lot. My English was okay when I joined VanHack. It wasn't my gap. My gap was more on how to prepare for interviews. I mean, how to answer the questions in a better way. And the mock interviews that they did with me were very helpful. Selection process is painful. So if you have people to support you, it's much better. So let's say that you apply for PayWith today and they reject you. You can talk to Deza, you can talk to Ilya, and they are going to support you. They are going to tell you, like, don't give up. It's okay. It's part of the process, and you're going to succeed in the next one. So what did you learn from this experience? Why did you get rejected? The community helps a lot. It's energy of people who wants to win in life. So come on, it's awesome to be surrounded by people that want to win. And like the sum of energy makes the difference. Immigration was easier with VanHack because they have like immigration consultants there, and they were able to instruct me. And VanHack is also able to extract feedback from companies in a nicer way, which means that if I reject you, it's much easier for VanHack to contact me as a company rather than you talking to the company. It's less personal for the company and less impactful on their side. So I got a lot of positive feedback with VanHack that helped me in my journey, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for you. Yeah. Yeah, so these are like my tips on how to prepare for interviews abroad. And like soft skills, hard skills are definitely like things that you need to look, especially if you are looking for a management position. In my experience, in the software development career, if you come abroad, it's easier to start as a senior developer or a middle-level developer, and then grow from there. And it makes sense because first you need to understand the systems before becoming a manager, right? So if you don't understand the engines, the components, the crafts of that company, you won't be able to lead people. So being a developer in the beginning is important, and like don't worry about that. Like if you need to to be a developer again in order to become a manager, and lead by example. Like if you want to be a leader, you need to be an example every day. You need to show people how things are done, and you need to influentiate them. Those are like my piece of advice for you.
Thank you very much, Vitor. So guys, as Vitor mentioned here, we have the Premium Academy that can help you with develop your interview skills, your soft skills, help you with your profile. Premium Academy is different from the selection process in VanHack. You don't have to be a premium member, but as Vitor said here, it helps you a lot, gain confidence, getting better at the interview, because practice makes perfect, right? So if you want to join Premium Academy, this is the best chance. We have the best promotion. You can get up to 50% off if you choose the 6-month package, and you will also get 1 month extra. So if you buy 6, you're gonna get 7. If you buy 3, you're gonna get 4. And if you buy 1, you're gonna get 2 months. So here you have the link if you want to join Premium Academy. So let's get into some questions for you. Vitor, we have a question here regarding your previous experience. Were you a manager before you start working in Canada? And if it's not, how the changes that you feel on that? What's the most different?
Yeah, I was a manager before I come here. In 2013, I started a startup in Brazil, and we had around 15 people in the office. So I had the opportunity to understand all the processes were related to people. Yeah, that definitely helped me to progress in my career here. But if you come to Canada, they really want to know your hard skills first, and if you are capable to solve their problems. And then once you can prove that, they will look for your management skills.
Awesome. We have another question here. How do I showcase my soft skills? Do you include in your resume? Do you just bring that up on interviews? What advice do you have for that?
Yeah, so one of the things, so if you are applying for a management position, they are going to ask you lots of behavioral interview questions. So you can practice. If you go on Google and type behavioral interview questions, you're going to get a lot of behavioral interview questions. You can buy books like this. Like I have this book, for example, Engineering Manager, 2,572 real interview questions. So as I said in the interview, buy books. I have a lot of books here. Look, the manager path, searching and sorting, coding interviews, the system design interview. I have other books in my room. It's a lot of books. So, I'm not safe. I'm here, but I'm still learning. I'm still studying, and it's going to be the same with you. So my advice would be looking for resources from very experienced managers in the industry. So there are really good books on Amazon.com. So check it out.
Awesome. We have one very interesting question here. What was the toughest question about your interview process, and how did you answer them?
The toughest question? It's, usually are the ones that I don't know the answer. And that's what I was saying the presentation it's a build, measure, learn process. So you're going to go to an interview, and they're going to ask you 2 questions that you have no idea how to answer. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, what am I saying? But, take notes on those questions and think about them, answer them in different moments, and talk to other people about your answers and see if they are effective. So I could say that, I don't remember the toughest question that I had, but, because there are so many questions that I wasn't able to answer, and nowadays I'm able to answer. So understanding how to overcome these gaps is essential. So, yep.
Awesome. We have a question regarding your job search before getting hired in Canada. Were you using only VanHack to search for jobs?
No. Yeah, so don't use only one company. So before VanHack, I was using another company in Europe, like Honeypot. And so for me, I was rejected 5 times there. And then I started using VanHack. And with VanHack, I applied for 7 positions and got 2 offers. But it was in 2018, and but I was trying to get hired abroad since 2015. So I was in the journey for 3 years. So it wasn't one in a month. And so I started working remotely in 2015. I worked remotely for 2 or 3 years. And then after that, I applied for a relocation and a visa sponsorship process. So in my case, the remote work was essential because it helped me to build my skill set, my English skill set. And then it also helped me to understand a little bit about the cultures. So I worked with companies in North America, and it was essential to understand how to behavior, what to say, and how to react to situations and to questions that these employers do. So, yeah.
And what's one main skill that a person should develop when their career goal is to become a leader?
Listening. Like, you need to listen to people more than speak, because by the end of the day, you can only build successful products via collaboration. And the only way to do collaboration is by listening, and listening effectively, I would say. So if you are interrupting people, if you are interrupting your team, you should review your attitude. Like, shut up and just listen to them. And think critically about what you're going to say, and ask the right questions. Don't ask stupid questions. People don't want to waste their time. So, and over time, you're going to learn how to ask better questions.
Awesome. We have a question here, how to deal with the question about salary. Do you have any tips from that, if you don't talk directly about that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, so usually, like, if you are with VanHack, they know because they ask the company, and the company can give them a range. But it's harder for a candidate to directly speak to a company, right? So you can go online and search for, like, Glassdoor or other websites. You're going to get an idea. And that's how I usually do. If you don't have previous experience abroad, I would recommend looking for the average. Like, when I came to Canada, I started making like the average salary for a software developer. And over time, they promoted me, they raised my salary. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to earn less in the beginning. You know, you're earning experience and you're earning other stuff. And it's much more valuable, and you're going to understand that in the future.
We have some people asking you to show the books again that you suggested, if you can.
This one? Yeah. This one, it has a lot of questions about software engineering management. I have this one. I have other books, but these ones are just examples, like, that I have here and that helped me a lot. Like, I have other books for algorithms. I have so many algorithms books here. Like, even though I'm a manager, I do like coding interview challenge. I don't, it's forever. Like, algorithms are everywhere. So, yeah.
And I have more questions here. As a leader, if you were interviewing a candidate, what questions would you expect them to ask you?
Wow. I would expect them to do the homework. Like, I don't want to explain what PayWith does, for example. You should go to the website. So if I understand that you don't know anything about my business, you may be rejected. And I've been there. I've been on your side, and there are times that I didn't do my homework and I was rejected because of that, and it was my fault. And I learned with that, and in the next interviews, I was able to do my previous homework. So that's the first thing. Planning is important. And the questions... Yeah, so going back to the presentation, I showed you a slide where you have an intersection between the company, the job description, and you. So if you can bring questions that are related to your experience and to the company's needs, those are the best questions, because you can understand more about their problems, and you will be able to connect previous experiences with their problems. And you can show them that you've done things that can make an impact on their business. So that would be my advice.
That's awesome. And Vitor, what was the biggest challenge that you faced on your first year working in Canada?
Yeah, like COVID. So COVID came, and like my family is not in Canada, so it's super hard to like see like your grandmother, your parents in Brazil, and all these things happening. So it was one of the things, like the feeling that you are alone in a country, and it's tough. What else was hard? Even though I had previous experiences working remotely with other cultures, when I came here as a Brazilian, it was super hard. Like, people here are not like Brazilians. They are not as warm as we are, and it's fine. Like, it's just the way how they are, and for them, we are weird, and for us, they are weird, and it's all good, right? And we love each other the way how we are. So learning that, each one of the individuals have their own characteristics, and each one of them are in their moment, in their time zone, is super important. And so sometimes you won't be able to understand certain aspects of the culture, and it's okay. Like, I work with, here in Canada is a very diverse country. So in my team, there is only one Brazilian that I hired this year. And before that, I didn't have Brazilians in my team. There are any Latins in my team. So I wasn't able to speak Spanish. I wasn't able to talk to anybody. People were from England, from Scotland, from China, from Ireland. So lots of India, lots of different countries in the world. So try not to talk about sensible topics. Like, if you know that religion is something critical, like if you are like with people from different religions, don't talk about that. Don't talk about like sensible topics. Just don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. So we have some questions here regarding your process getting hired, um, about the interview, how it worked. Can you talk a little bit about that?
My selection process?
Yes.
Okay. It depends on the position, actually. But, for example, for software developers, we usually have an intro call with one of the managers at PayWith. And then after that, we invite you to our Slack, and you have access to one private group. And then we start like talking to you. You work with us for 1 week. We give you a challenge, and we start measuring you whenever you start sending us messages. So we can see how collaborative you are, what kind of questions you ask, lots of things, like if you are too confident, if you are not, and then like that's the part that we evaluate the technical skills. So we can either ask you to solve like an architectural design challenge, or a home take test, like a project that you're gonna build at home, and we're gonna tell you what we would expect. And then after that, we evaluate your solution. If you pass, you're gonna talk to the team. So at PayWith, there are like rounds of interviews. So you would be talking with the project manager and the product manager in one call. After that, you would be talking to full stack developers. After that, you would be talking to managers, and so on. So you would talk to the entire team. We would gather everybody, and we would make a decision. Like, we basically do voting. So everybody votes, and whoever gets more votes is accepted. And people can show their concerns with the candidates, and it's all good. We are transparent. We tell candidates where they should improve. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Vitor. And can you tell us 3 big advice that you would give for someone who is starting this journey now, looking for a job abroad?
A big advice?
Yeah. One thing that they absolutely need to do.
Study every day. Like, study is the most important thing that you can do for your life, and knowledge, nobody can steal your knowledge. So if you are able to reserve 1 hour or 2 hours a day to do specific tasks that have, like that you are really bad in searching algorithms. So start studying search algorithms. If you don't face the problem, you're not going to win. So look for your gaps and see how you can overcome them. That's the big advice that I could tell you. Like, everybody has room to improve, has like specific areas in their personal side or professional side to improve. So identify these gaps and make sure that you are working on them, and you get the job.
That's awesome. Thank you, Vitor. And we have a question here regarding people who work with different technology. If you can tell us a little bit about your experience before. Do you work with a lot of technology? And if you have advice for them on how to focus on what to prioritize in their profile, especially to showcase?
Like, you mean when you talk about technology, we're talking about programming language? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
They work with different ones.
Cool. Yeah, so I try to be like a polyglot in programming language. So, and takes like a long time to do that. Like, so firstly, what I did in my career was like, I tried to focus on one stack. So I started with web development a long time ago, and I became a senior. So instead of like trying to understand web, mobile, AI, data science, IoT, dude, choose one area like web development and master in web development. Understand the different services that the architectures that web development has. It's going to take you a decade. It's super complex. Understand about DevOps, understand about all the process. You don't need to start as a full stack. You can start as a backend. And then over time, you can do full stack. And then once you know a few languages, you can start studying other languages. But usually when you apply for a position, they're going to ask you for like a couple of skills. Let's say Ruby on Rails and React.js. And for these companies specifically, they don't care if you know Java or Android or iOS, unless they need developers with these skills. Otherwise, it's not relevant. But you know, learning different languages is important for your career, not for your next job. You know, being a polyglot is important for yourself. And it takes a long time to get there. And what I would advise is try to learn the concept of the things that you use, okay? So instead of just like trying to understand what an endpoint is, like in an API, like an endpoint in PHP or an endpoint in Rails or in .NET, understand the concepts about an API. What is an API? What are the formats of an API? And understand the concepts before the tools. Because if you understand the concepts, you're going to get the tools very fast. And if you do the reverse way, it's going to be much harder. So focus on the concepts, then go to the tools. Obviously, in the beginning, you're going to learn the tool, but over time, I would advise you to learn the concepts. That's why these companies ask you for algorithms or other questions like that, because it's like the foundation.
That's awesome. Vitor, thank you so much for all the great tips that you gave today. I hope this webinar helped you guys prepare for your dream job abroad, and especially if you're looking to become a leader. So we had amazing tips today. I want to remind you about the premium promotion, premium academy promotion. Sorry, we still have 3 days. We have until Friday that you can take advantage of that. And we still have 2 more days of VanHackCON. Tomorrow we have 2 webinars. So pay attention to your email and our agenda. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow on the webinar.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was great chat with you. And, you know, feel free to reach out. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on the VanHacker Slack. So if you have any questions, you know, we are together on this. We can collaborate and I can answer you any questions. Okay, don't worry.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Vitor. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.